What's up, you guys? Welcome to the TechCity podcast. My name is Belarus Okoje-Durji, and today on the podcast, we are taking a very interesting look at a part of technology that is nascent in a sense, but that's growing in leaps and bounds. And we've got a professional who's going to have that conversation with us and throw a lot more light on it, on perhaps how we have been using it, how we can use it more, and how it will be used in the future as well. I'm not alone today on the podcast. Tega Odia is also here with me. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise.
Yo, I feel like I should have my own personal intro.
Really? Ladies and gentlemen, Tega wants to do his own intro. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
I think that's all.
That's it? So anticlimax. Anywho, on the podcast today, we have a guest by the name Odeleye Similoluwa Peters. He's the CEO of Filter Africa, an AR tech company that leverages social augmented reality in digitizing backdrop banners for events. There's more. He's been in this industry for over 2 years. He's also an AR consultant who has built AR experiences and products for top companies the world over. He specializes in augmented reality and he absolutely loves working on the latest technology and of course trends in driving customer acquisition, advertisements, as well as creating product awareness for brands and products through interactive and engaging AR content. Now, if you don't get anything I saw from that whole introduction, it's the fact that this guy lives, breathes, sleeps, wakes up, eats augmented reality. Simi, it's great to have you on the podcast. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm very fine. What about you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Tega, how's it going?
Everything is good.
So I think a good place to start today would be for anyone out there who's like, whoa, you guys just calm down, please. What is this about? People have seen AR in many different places, maybe like on blogs. You probably have also just heard it as a buzzword. Something is a buzzword as well. But what would you say augmented reality really is?
Okay, so I'll try to take it from a layman perspective.
Please.
So let's take the word augment as the very basic word. What does it mean to augment? So you're trying to add to what already exists.
Right.
So yeah, in this case, augmented reality is that process wherein you overlay the real world scene with a digital information,
Right.
a digital like image. So now let's give like a very, very useful example. You look at your filters on Instagram, right? So many ladies are gonna say, don't take my picture without this particular Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
Why? Because it does something to their look.
Enhances.
Exactly. So
Enhances.
something has been overlaid upon what they normally would have looked like.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it enhances how they look. So AR, augmented reality, is that fusion wherein you overlay or augment a particular effect, a particular interactivity upon like the real world scene. So that's where, AR comes in.
Okay. I'm satisfied. So basically, AR is at its most basic level. AR is an Instagram filter.
Nope.
I would also say,
It's not an
so
Instagram filter.
from what I was able to get, it
Yeah.
can be a digital makeup for ladies.
Yeah, people
Digital
like
makeup.
for yeah. In fact, like we're working on something like that for one of our products.
Okay.
We're going to build that for weddings.
Okay.
Wherein
Interesting.
you're attending a wedding and maybe I'll give one very funny thing that happened last weekend.
Okay.
So like I said, my friends came around last weekend.
Okay.
And there was a little bit of glitch because rain was falling. The makeup artist couldn't come around. And this lady was saying, I'm not going to go for this wedding.
Yeah.
I must pop. I must this. And this person I was getting married was our childhood friend. And everybody's going to be slain. I'm not going to say, I'm like, damn, just wear your clothes and get out of this house. But now, so imagine like that AR, effect wherein it's the pictures. Nobody really cares about.
Yeah.
So you want your pictures to really bang and
Yeah.
look. So like it already does your makeup. So you just placing your face in front of the camera. And you want to add a little bit of
Spice.
jewelry. The one we wanted to build was going to have like a 3D gele.
Okay.
Interesting.
And so you take a picture, but then you're not really wearing that gilly.
You're not wearing,
you're wearing the gilly.
in the big.
So what's the difference between? Because I'm thinking about it now, and it's also all sort of sounding like VR, almost like virtual reality in a sense.
Okay,
So what's the difference between AR and VR?
There's a very, very, very huge difference.
Okay.
So I like you to look at it this way: virtual reality. I'm sorry, I like to take things back to the roots.
It's okay.
So virtual, what is virtual? It means it's not like in the same space. Now, AR is in the same space.
Okay.
So virtual means it's taking you to a completely different world.
Okay.
Now, I'll give you an example. Virtual reality, tools and components are enabled with, hardware, objects.
Yeah.
It has to be, an Oculus Quest or one
A-
hardware.
yeah,
Exactly.
one of those
so
big things you wear on your
taking
face.
those big things, right? You're not more seeing TechCity again.
Yeah.
You're now seeing what was proposed to be projected to you.
Yeah.
So that's virtual reality. So it's taking you completely outside of what your reality is. So like people normally say virtual reality is like 75%, digital information has been pre-populated, wherein AR is 25% because you're overlaying that information on your reality.
Yeah.
But with virtual reality, you are joining something entirely different. So that's like the difference. So with AR, you do not need an external hardware.
Okay. Speaking of components, hardware and all that, is it necessary for you to use an application? Because you made mention of using Instagram filters, so you have to access through the Instagram app, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, is it necessary for you to use an application to be able to, go into the AR space?
Okay, so AR is divided into two.
Okay.
There's the social AR, and there's the web AR.
Okay.
So social AR just means that it is powered on a social media platform.
Okay.
Web AR means it's powered on the web with your browser.
Okay.
So I might do a little bit of taking us back into, product development of some sort. So you see, every application that is being built these days, that's why we have mobile developers and we have web developers. So you access whatever has been built either on a mobile application or on the web application. Same thing with augmented reality.
Okay.
So social AR means you are accessing it, or rather accessing it on, a social media platform, which the examples are Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok.
Apps, basically.
Yeah, apps, basically.
Mobile apps.
Yeah, then what's the name now? Web AR is that it is on the web. Now, there are interesting parts of web AR.
Okay.
I'll call it like sort of a subcategory, wherein this web AR components actually need you to download their app because there are different, ways through which you could use AR. It could be image tracking.
Okay.
It could be face tracking. Face tracking is wearing like for the makeup and stuff for like the face filters. So image tracking is that you place, your camera on a particular image, it captures it, and whatever has been built into that image gets toggled and you can interact with it, right? So for some of these apps, they need you to download their own applications to use it. But I'm looking at it from an from the POV of user experience. So we look at it that, some people do not even want to download any other extra application on their phone. It's not because they've gotten to 128 gig memory space or 64 gig. They just don't want to go to the Apple Store or to the Google Play Store.
Yeah. People like me.
Yeah, people like TechCity stops my life because he doesn't want to go. All right. So in this particular case, we now figure out another way to access this AR without an app. Then we introduce, the quick response code, which is called the QR code.
Okay.
So almost every camera now can just, toggle into a particular web link just from placing your camera on a QR code. So that QR code now serves as a pseudo application.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, because the main reason why the application is there is not because they just wanted to see their fanciful UI, but it's because they want you to, go through a route that has been pre-populated for that AR experience. So with this QR code, you scan it, then it takes you into that space where you can now, if it's the face you want to track, if it's an image you want to track, an object, and recently there's never recently, like some about 7-8 years ago, there was the craze of Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pokemon
that game.
Go.
It was on Snapchat, I believe.
Yeah.
Was it a game? Was it a standalone game?
It was a standalone game.
Yeah, Pokemon Go, yeah.
So you see that Pokemon Go doesn't track your face. It doesn't track an image. It tracks the real
environment.
world scene.
Yeah.
So now AR, there's the image tracking, the face tracking, and there's the plane tracking. So this can be a plane.
Gotcha, okay.
I track the plane.
As in PLAIN.
PLANE.
Okay.
PLANE, right? And there's the world. So that for Pokemon Go was for like the world tracking. So it just tracks that environment. So wherever that trigger is within that environment, and I have my Pokemon Go camera. Once it can capture it, then whatever thing that is built into the AR of that Pokemon, then I can experience it.
It's crazy.
So you're saying you could use your normal phone camera, your native camera, to just point your camera towards the QR code, which serves as a trigger.
Yes.
Then it takes you to the AR space.
The AR space.
Interesting.
Exactly. So
Interesting.
That's how
okay. Let's move on real quickly. So you've talked about how of course, you don't have to download an application. The QR code acts as that pathway. What would you say are some of the, apart from your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook and stuff like that, Snapchat, what other perhaps applications have you seen people use augmented reality for?
Okay. When I started learning augmented reality, it's funny. It came from my final year project in school.
Okay, what did you study first off?
Electrical electronics engineering.
What school?
Unilag.
What do they call them? Aquakites.
Exactly. Aquakites. Right.
Brilliant.
So my professor was he started from an elective course, and there's this professor that was, so to speak, the hardest professor in the faculty. I remember taking his course in my third year, and out of about 150 students, almost like 80 to 90 failed the course. So everybody ran away from the course. And I just had this leaning to, do his course in final year. And in final year, anything that happens affects
your GP.
And whatever you might have been building since your first or your second year, you're a direct entry student.
It can really affect it.
Can just go to the rocks from there. Now, the title of that course was called Waves and Transmission.
Okay.
So it was, the advanced part of electromagnetic wave theory, EMWT. And it was interesting to me because inside of it, he is a very vast professor. There's this, I don't call it a joke, I think it was a real thing where he gave, and so he's known for giving open book tests.
Okay.
So it's sure for the man. Like you people's daddy, I don't go fast.
It's more applied than textbook.
Exactly. So he gave this particular test, and because it was an open book test, so you can come with 12 textbooks, your laptop, your iPad, everything. Then they went to even just put this exact question, inside of Google, and Google referred them back to this man. He wanted to show himself that they're quite all right. There's a bias that is maybe the second best electrical engineer in the world. So I'm bored. The guy is smart. See, take it from me.
I'm taking it. I can't watch you.
I can see it, your facial expression.
When they say person sabi.
Sabu book.
Nice.
Right. So taking this man's course, like you said, is more applied.
Yeah.
It doesn't mark your answer. So he wants to see. So if you crammed or you copied, you are going to fail.
Yeah.
So he wants to see the ideology behind you understanding the concept of what he has taught you. But many people don't even really want to go. Let me just give you the answer and just mark it. So this course had to take us through the route of IoT. IoT is Internet of Things. Then one of those days, I asked a question, quite unlike me, because I'm always the reserved guy that never speaks in class. But because I was enjoying the course, right? So I asked the question, and he told me to see him after the class. I'm like, okay. Okay. Please, hope
you don't trigger me with it.
hope you're not going to mark down my matric number. That's the one that has mind. Because nobody asks questions. You just, even if you don't understand, you just go home, go and study it and stuff. So this man was so gracious to give me. So he belongs to this body called IEEE.
Okay.
International whatever, Institute of Electronics Engineers.
Lovely.
So he has access to these publications. I can remember it was the edition for June 2018, and he gave it to me. So it was around IoT for medical care, leveraging UWB, length, and all of that interesting stuff. And he told me read up on it, and we worked on something. So that was my first introduction into tech, so to speak. So that's where I did a whole lot of user research, began to understand like the medical space, how to bring tech into it. So just imagine a thing wherein instead of, because I as a person, I was a medical patient because I wore braces for like about 6 years.
Wow.
Right. And I remember, living in Ikorodu then I was going to go to Luth, at Idiaraba, and we had to wake up.
That's like from one part of Lagos to the other.
Exactly. So we had to wake up like 4:35 to get on the road. Then my dad's driver, we have to, drop us, gonna drop my dad, then come back to meet us so that I can drop us at home. And it was just crazy, right? Extremely crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought that, okay, what if you could make bookings of your appointment and like from home? So you now know that, okay, if your position for that day is number 5, number 3 has been attended, so you should have left your house by this time. But you cannot work in Nigeria, I'm sorry. It's never just traffic. Nigeria is a chaotic state.
Can get that, you can still be on number 1.
See, apart from number 1, what if number 1 did not show up? It's just really, really crazy. So all of that introduced me into AR because inside of IoT, IoT is like, it's a better use case of embedded systems, right? So I saw the beauty of AR from there. I was like, okay, what next can we do with AR? So there's this particular company I worked with called Euphoria Labs. Being run by Derek Ikinga. So we did something for a jewelry company in the UK. That was in 2020. And when Derek brought the plan, he said that, have you guys heard about IKEA?
IKEA.
IKEA, right?
The furniture company.
The furniture company. So you just carry your phone, the proposed furniture you want to purchase, and place it on, that space wherein you want it to be in your house.
Like a plane.
Exactly. You are getting.
I'm a good student.
Yeah, good student.
Voila, for who no book for this side.
That's why I said we have to let the basics be taught first, then we can now build on it. So, like a plane, so you could just track that plane and see that, okay, would the cupboard be nice? Yeah, would that, TV stand be nice? Yeah. So that was AR. So we see, IKEA. Then interestingly, IKEA is a Swedish company.
Yeah.
We now see Rolex. Rolex rolled out something interesting, wherein just putting your wrist in front of an iPad, you can see how the watch is gonna fit into your hand. You've not bought it yet though, so you now see how AR powered e-commerce.
Yeah.
Like it really, really powered e-commerce. Then you see the likes of Nike coming in to say, okay, that particular Air Jordan or whatever it is that you want to purchase, just, try it on first.
See how
and you
looks.
can look at it on your leg. Can you find it?
The funny thing is, there's an article on the website, and I'm going to link it, when we publish this, about Walmart also doing the same thing with their dresses. Yeah. So you can just stand and motion your camera and see how the dress will look on you. Perfect. So it's not what I ordered, this is what I got.
Exactly. So
great.
As the bro that wears glasses,
I built one for one glasses brand.
Are you serious? There's
so it just changes like the different frames, and I'm like, okay, I think that's how. So you see, this is my frame. This is the frame I've been wearing for like how many years now? Like maybe 3 years or so. It's just like perfect for me because it fits my round
face.
Yeah.
Round face.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's this company called Webby Parker that decided to change their marketing strategy by introducing AR into the business, whereby potential customers could use their AR to see how they will look wearing their glasses, with different colors, measurements, and all that, different shapes. And I think that actually helped to increase their revenue.
Yes.
Understand? So I actually really, really understand how AR has been able to impact
I think it gets clear
businesses.
Every day.
Every question you answer.
Now, so it becomes more interesting wherein you go into a store right now. So maybe you are doing you're grocery shopping, right? And I'll give you a particular use case that happened recently. I went into a store and I had to go back to the counter and ask, how much is this?
Yeah.
Because there was no attendant close to me there.
Yeah.
So imagine the stress. But an AR trigger on the product, I can just put my camera on it and it tells me the price.
Description.
When it's going to expire. Like Yoruba say, are you married?
Soft life.
Exactly.
So, speaking of businesses, I would like to ask, how can a small medium business use or utilize the features of AR? Understand?
Okay. All right. So AR is, like you said, quite nascent, but it's gaining more ground. And small businesses. So before I even offer AR as a solution to any business, firstly, you have to understand one thing. What is your product offering? Number 2, your target audience. Number 3, what's your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah.
Right.
So firstly is your product offering, your target audience, right? If your target audience is not tech savvy,
don't stress yourself.
right? There are some people, I don't even want to say our parents, but when people call
shade.
No.
Okay.
When people call WhatsApp group chat platform, I'm sorry to anybody that calls group chats platform.
But it is a platform.
No. Okay, when they call it forum,
community of elders.
Not
exactly. That's what it's not. Because your dad just Lori platform, Lori forum, and those kind of things.
It's a WhatsApp group.
It's a WhatsApp group. So if you have to understand your target audience. Now, matching your target audience to what you are offering determines what your go-to-market strategy will be. Because AR comes as a go-to-market strategy. It's a marketing strategy. Now, I'll give an instance. I, as a person, wanted to offer a particular AR solution to a company. Before I even sent them a cold email, I called one of their users and clients. She just stays above my flat. I said, Aisha, Alpha, this thing that you always use, what if you do it this way? I was like, Simi, no, it's too stressful. So I said, okay. I met with another person. The person was like, it does not solve what I need, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm doing user research for them.
Yeah.
So imagine I was their marketing manager or their operations manager or their sales rep. So I'm helping them understand what their market wants.
Actually, yeah.
And I'm seeing that AR is just like the way people say there are some particular startups and companies that they're not solving any problem. I'm sorry to the Web3 guys. I used to be part of you guys sometimes. But I think I got a brain reset.
Simi has just been throwing shades. First it was African parents. Now it's the Web.
No.
Web3 brothers.
Belarus has led WhatsApp forum.
Web3 brothers, please. Your comeback should be big.
No. See, okay, now let's dive into Web3 because there's a part wherein we wanted to build AR because AR is in Web3, metaverse and all of that. But there's some, Web3 solutions that are not solving any problem.
Wow. As of yet, I guess?
No, it's never as of yet. Before you think of a solution, there must be a pain point.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I love the page stack story so much, because I've read up almost all of the articles from their very first employee, Okwe Ikomo, his Medium account is Father Mary, right? And he said before they got to the point where they got acquired, when they started from a pain point. What was the pain point? The pain point was that internet, payment on the internet is broken. In Africa, it is broken. So building from the problem makes it easier to solve. So some of these Web3 guys, they are very, very ambitious brothers, praise the Lord, right? But beyond your ambition, I think you have to be realistic.
True.
So going back into AR for small businesses, like I said, what is your product offering? Who are your target audience? What's your go-to-market strategy? What you need AR for must be a consumer interfacing product. Now, I want to get a wristwatch. It's consumer interfacing. It's a physical product. So I want to try it on. I want to try on shoe. I want to try on how, this furniture is going to look.
In my house,
in my house, right? Then that's for, consumer interfacing and product interface, like physical products, right? Then another part of AR for marketing can be, for instance, I'm trying to sell, an ideology.
Okay.
Let's say one of the ideologies I want to sell is even Web3. Let's embrace them back, right? So I want to sell an ideology about Web3, and I'm saying that this particular product, or this is our product, inside of Web3, is going to give you a very, very intrinsic insight into the world of food.
Okay.
At that point, I need interactivity.
Yeah.
Something they can interact with. Before we started this, I was saying that I think, last week Friday, before Tega invited me onto the podcast, my friends were around, and we had a burnt turkey episode at home. So while we were lamenting in the burntness of the turkey,
right,
then we just
Boys
said,
in the kitchen.
Right. So we just said that, what if we start a podcast, Turkey Night with Simi Peters, and then we'll just talk about life, and we're just going to eat slightly burnt turkey. So from there, I can build interactivity from when I get it from the store, to washing it, different kind of turkeys. You want it to be honey glazed, want it to be, barbecued or whatever it is. So the interactivity levels are inculcated into the whole process. So you can see that it's selling an orientation.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to look for that perfect go-to-market strategy for a new orientation, or you're trying to reorientate people about something, I think one of the things that AR should even push is, one of the things I'm a believer in for AR is that it should push, societal standards. I'll give another example. Please. One of the reasons why we are experiencing a lot of trash in Lagos is because a lot of trash are being trashed on the road. Right.
That's a punchline right there.
On the road. And when you see that rain comes, this trash now serves as something that is, disastrous.
Yeah.
I can imagine an AR wherein, you just place your camera on a particular image, an object, and it orientates you on, wow, if I keep trashing stuff inside of the water, on the road,
this is what is going to
this
happen.
is what's going to happen. Then I can see the other part. If I do not, this is what's going to happen. Now, just like I love to talk about, with respect to storytelling, this is where we are. This is where we can be. What is the brig? The brig is that you people should have sense. Stop trashing things. So are you seeing that, a story is being told?
Yeah.
Mindsets are being changed.
Yeah.
Augmented reality powers it. So why won't I live and breathe AR?
First of that the whole turkey talk, that was an interesting choice of inspiration.
No. Honestly, I think we should start it. Demulade and Daniel, kill a few.
This is your cue. So I'm curious, when you say, you don't sound too enthusiastic about small businesses using AR, right? Particularly because of how much research needs to go in and how they need to be sure that their audience wants it.
Needs it.
On the flip
Not
side,
want.
needs it rather, more like
yeah.
needs it. On the flip side, what is the cost of it? Because I think that for some people who may want to do it, why they are not using AR is because maybe they think it's expensive, but let's hear from you what that reality is.
AR is not expensive. AR is expensive.
Okay.
It's dependent on the project you're trying to build. Something that is simple, definitely might not be expensive. I'll give another instance. Sorry, I love to give instances.
It's okay.
I come from a family of lecturers. So I think teaching is now blood.
You're making them proud, by the way.
Yeah. So we see, for instance, if I as a person, I am building a small company, there's always nothing like a marketing budget. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Zero marketing budget. That guy starting out something wants to leverage his social capital to make sure that he doesn't pay capital for what he needs. So in that bit of trying to cut costs, AR might be, an overshoot.
Okay.
Now, if you're even a startup that you feel you need AR, so I'll give another example. There's a small business. So we built one for a small business called Fit. Yeah, called Fit. Team is business. So what does she sell? She sells this washable dyes. Gen Zs, they go to dye their hair, and the day they want to go home, they cannot wash it off.
Yeah. They don't cover it.
And now they know that their father is a massive pastor in one of these churches. So even if you wear a face cap, even if you wear a durag,
they'll come and pray for you and they'll remove it.
Or you pierce your ear or your nose.
No, it's never. No, like our business was more about the air.
Okay.
Right? So she was selling this products that are washable under 30 minutes. So she wanted us to.
I've seen that actually.
Yeah, she's doing well. So she wanted us to build an AR, for that. So the plan was brought to us, and right from when I used to consult at Stanbic, I was a product manager, right? So I'm not looking at it from the perspective of building alone. So I do the coding, I do the building, but I also do the whole product development cycle.
Right.
I build the roadmap. This is how we're gonna go. So I'm not asking myself, what should the trigger be on? So back to our basics, it must be a face tracker.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, and hair, of course, hair is...
Exactly. So inside of that face tracker, there must be another child tracker. It has to be the hair. So she wants to sell the fact that under 3 seconds, it can come back to your normal hair. That's interactivity.
Yeah.
Are you seeing the process? So firstly, I know what to track. I know what to focus on while I'm tracking it. So I'm focusing on the hair while tracking the face. And I want to build an interactivity that after 3 seconds or, 10 seconds, your hair is back to its natural color. So this interactivity is where the money compounds. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So I come in to say, this is how it's going to look. This is the roadmap. The managing partner says, oh, wow, this is nice. Let's get this on. Well, because she was our friend, she didn't pay nothing.
Really? Now that I know
Free
you, I hope I'm going to get that kind of discount.
Please, I have a business one.
But that's really cool.
So
really
imagine
cool.
that kind of, it drove, because one thing AR does, and one thing I keep telling people about AR is that if you want virality, you want engagement, want something that's interactive, opt for AR. Opt for AR. Because it was just nice just going on Instagram or Snapchat, and I see, just by the nose, you see Cold Fit, right? And you can see that this is a product of Cold Fit.
Yeah.
And your hair is purple, after like 5 seconds, it changes back to your black hair. Then again, you can try it, you can reload it.
A different color.
It's a different color. So it's so like going back to what we said about orientation, it's selling the orientation that not all dyes, right, are permanent. Not all dyes are permanent.
Yes.
This one that we're selling to you
is not permanent.
It's not permanent. So
a lot of communication going on in there.
So the interactivity is where the money compounds, or you want something simple. So SMEs are not. I'm not against SMEs using.
Can you give like a figure? For anyone who's thinking about it, it's like okay, if I want to create a marketing budget, for
probably
instance,
like minimum price,
exactly.
Minimum price,
development fee.
That guy is looking at me with a side eye.
No, I think he's looking at me with his two full eyes.
Full eyes.
I'm concentrating fully on this. Please, let me
trying to
set
build
up
a
my
marketing
budget.
what would your counsel be?
I'm sorry, I have to answer like a Nigerian politician.
So are we saying 20,000, 100,000
dollars?
No, naira, please.
No, we have to put it. Is it GBP, USD?
No, please, naira.
Please
Naira.
don't call those currencies with surnames. They are
Naira,
too much.
nobody naira.
Well, that's true. Naira doesn't even have a surname.
Great Britain pound.
Combo is
that
the
one has
younger brother.
family relative.
Okay, seriously.
So I think depending on how the complexity of whatever you're building is, you can get from 50K, 100K.
Really?
Interesting.
Upward, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Simi, I'll get your number after this.
Good
I'll send you an email.
Just put that down somewhere. We have it on camera, so if I ask Simi and he says,
Evidence.
no, the list is 150K, I'm like,
But remember,
50K the
I
other day
said
was the list.
depending,
Yeah.
on,
What the elements are going
it's
to
just
be.
like what we were saying earlier on about speakers and what to give to them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm working on a particular product
Yeah.
to give speakers, because one of the benefits, or I'll call them value propositions for AR, is personalized experience.
Sure. So, backstory, we were having a conversation about what people get when they go for speaking events.
Yeah.
And
I'm
there was
tired
a
of
thing on
getting
Twitter. We're tired of
mugs
getting mugs and jotters.
And pens.
So look
Check,
out
please.
for
Check.
checks
Check.
and maybe an augmented reality product.
So
from
AR just
Simi.
makes it feel personal. Like, oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Imagine. Okay, I'll give you an idea. Whoever wants to study can study. It's execution is what matters. Right. Imagine your picture as someone who has just spoken at an event can be triggered, and beautiful things about you pops up.
Interesting.
Your latest achievement. It can carry your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, your
Twitter,
Instagram, your YouTube.
Instead of having a long presentation,
just
kicking.
And it's interactive. You can move from one to the other, and just imagine your favorite song playing in the background.
Ooh,
okay.
I like it already.
So
Let's move on real quickly. We are
it.
pressed for time.
Yeah.
I think.
Let's come to Nigeria.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Nigerian question. So I'm thinking about what the Nigerian market really is, and if I know you've mentioned Confit, and it's a brilliant example.
Yeah.
But how ready would you think both the Nigerian business space and even Nigerian customers, how ready are we to fully utilize AR?
For me, I believe it's from the get-go.
Okay.
If your product is gonna be, consumer-facing, physical product, and you believe that based off what you're offering and your target audience, then why not? You can go for it. So one of the guys that helped, get me into, social AR. So I had been doing web AR, but social AR. So he was the CTO of this furniture brand.
Okay.
Taylor. I don't know if you heard about Taylor. They make, furnitures like this. Right? I think they're spelled as TAI.
TAELLO.
LEOO. Yeah.
They've done plenty Instagram ads.
Yeah. Partnerships with so
guy that
many
used to be their
academies
marketing.
and all that.
Is this guy that's with
Crazy.
their product marketing guy, Uche Kene or something?
Oh, okay.
He's doing a good work. If you saw their ads.
I did.
Because,
I did.
I think we followed each other on Twitter. So he was the CTO, and Taylor had been for a while. I think they had just raised, pre-seed funding or something. And people were not buying until this guy came in as their CTO. So he built a web AR product for them. So when you want to purchase this, you can see. So it's not just IKEA that does it.
Nigerian brands have
Nigerian
as well.
brands do it, but I don't think I've seen any other furniture brand aside Stater. So that's where marketing budget now comes in.
Yeah.
Right, because people can check differently.
Yeah.
But if we're being honest, having to just place this on a particular plane and it can trigger something and you can see, takes a whole lot.
I think the ability to, project information on the real world is actually very, very amazing through like your native camera and all.
Yeah.
But however, I think some of the reasons why some companies actually back off from it is because of maybe security threats or, let's say hackers, AI hackers. You understand? So what would you say to companies that are actually concerned about some, level of threats concerning, hacking the platform?
No.
Is it prone to those kinds of attacks?
Let me answer the question this way. So there's a particular platform called Creative Commons.
Okay.
And they are all in that open source space. So no company from a legal aspect will put out data that will serve as threats to their customers, as an AR experience. Remember, they're trying to sell you their product. Their products are meant to be out there. So AR is for things that are meant to be out there. Like, for instance, if I take the Rolex, it's meant to be out there. There's nothing secretive about it. Now, when we talk about our cars, I remember doing a project for an NFT community some months ago, right? And it was almost like as if who did this thing, because it was for an NFT community in the US and stuff. And, when they were trying to trace, and they said that, it was an African thing. So that particular thread was just a beef.
Right.
It's not coming from our own, right? That kind of a thing. But it was just putting the brand out there. So with respect to security and everything, the things that are being projected out are not information that should not be on the internet.
Is it possible for somebody to hack an AR project, for instance? And maybe see, for instance, this is just a random example, right?
Okay.
Maybe it is Coca-Cola that's trying to do it.
Okay.
And then whatever the idea is, you see Coca-Cola on your table and it's dripping wet. And then someone tries to do that and then they see a Pepsi because it's been hacked. So, like, is it possible for those kinds of things to happen?
I won't lie to you. On Obasanjo's internet, everything is possible.
So I think those kinds of hacks and maybe things that people who have just malicious.
The 2FA, the two-factor authentication that will happen here will not be the AR developer making sure that the hyperlink that is linked to that AR experience has quality SSL.
Right.
So that now secures it from malicious attacks, because remember, like I said earlier on, it has to be either social AR or web AR. So on that web platform, it has to be secure with proper SSL certificate. So yes.
All right. We'll just note that somewhere SSL certificate has to be.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Moving on.
Okay, so there's something I've been thinking about.
Okay. Are you building your unicorn? If you are, please.
The fourth Nigerian unicorn, I guess. Do we have up to 3?
Yeah, we have 3. We have Interswitch.
We have Paystack.
We have Flutterwave.
Paystack is already a unicorn, no?
Paystack got acquired.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Yeah, but they carried that.
But they carried, but I think they were also called an African unicorn at some point, no?
No, they didn't get to $1 billion valuation before they got acquired.
Interswitch, Flutterwave.
Yeah, and
who else?
Jumia. Is Jumia a Nigerian company? Jumia
was
the first.
I don't think.
Jumia was the first unicorn, yeah.
Jumia's ownership is...
That was 2019.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
AR.
So
and your question.
Okay, so don't attack me for this thing, because I feel you're going to make a comment about what I'm about to say.
No, please. I don't know why people think I'm a very gentle guy.
Is there a huge demand for AR jobs in the market? Like, we've heard so much about app developers, mobile app developers, new skills that are not even related to tech. You understand? And there are now people that are actually like, there's something called AR.
AR, yes.
You understand? And they're like, okay, it's interesting. They've heard Simi talk about it, and they're like, okay, they want to go into it, but they need to know if there's a huge demand, reasonable amount of demand for AR in the market.
AR, yeah. I really love this question. I think this is one of the highlights of today's conversation. So I love it because I started out my tech career as a data scientist.
Okay.
And when I started out in 2016-17, data science was entirely nascent in Nigeria. It's just recently you can just, check for data science roles inside of, I'm not thinking of globally, like in Nigeria, and you'll find actual roles that are not internship roles, right? So after a while, I played around data science, did a little bit of machine learning. Then I saw that my forte was more in, data visualization. So I carved a niche in data analytics, right? So all of that was because data science was very nascent when I started. For AR is quite even more nascent than data science was. But I believe that there's a community of AR guys, and it's growing actually. We sort of know ourselves, right? I know that if you want a particular type of AR, social AR, that's your go-to guy.
Right.
Web AR, that's your go-to guy. So for people that want to come in, just like the way there was a time wherein software developers were not even fanciful roles, right? It was when they saw that there's money in this thing, and I'm not even trying to be humble. Right, there's money in AR if you really know what you're doing. Right, for like the past 2 years, it's only AR that's fed me.
Wow.
Like it's only AR that's everything. Like all the phones and laptops, it's just been AR, right? And everything that has, culminated into being, what my life is. So you had to start from, carving a niche for yourself.
Right.
So I carved a niche for myself and said, okay, before I started doing web AR, I want to be known as that social AR person. So I decided to take, roots inside of social AR. It wasn't immediately I started getting like the gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
It was more like doing a whole lot of pro bono stuff at the beginning.
How long would you say that took you? How long did you have to do all that pro bono stuff?
So pro bono stuff took me roughly like let me count from November to May. November to May is how many months? 7 months. 6-7 months.
So the girl that enjoyed the free benefits of
was
friendship
within that time.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Are you self-taught?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm likely self-taught, like for most of the things that I know, data analytics, data science. Just put me in front of a YouTube channel, and I could just get the knowledge I want.
Speaking of being self-taught,
I was helped by a community. Like there was this very, very good guy, Derek, that helped, like, okay, this is what you do and that. But it wasn't for too long. But I just went deep down because I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Speaking of being self-taught, I noticed that most of those tech training platforms, they focus more on mobile development, UI and UX design. I think that's become a major trend.
Yep.
UI and UX design, anybody can be a designer. Product management and the rest. But I discovered that they do not preach about AR. Now that you've told us that there's a reasonable amount of demand in the market. So
and there's a growing community.
And
there's a growing community.
Yeah, I think you introduced me to that community after this show. But what do you have to say to people that do not have should I say the knowledge to learn like you? They need to be taught and lectured by somebody. As a son of a lecturer, I know that you were privileged to be lectured by somebody at some point. Yeah. So people that do not actually have that, privilege. Yeah. So how
do they get started?
Yeah. Where do they go?
Okay.
Yeah.
How can they find these people that can
I'll give an
teach
example of how I got started.
Okay.
So this guy that I mentioned earlier on, right? He just tweeted and said, who is willing to learn AR? I'm going to pick 3 people.
Wow.
And I'm going to teach you guys for like 2 months or something. And everyone began to like flood his DM, and it says, "Give me a compelling story of what you want to use AR to do." So he picked 3 of us and added someone later with 4. Now the interesting part was that my story was somewhat compelling because I'd been in that AR space before. So like all of the use cases, I was even like building one. Like I don't talk about it now because it's still something like we want to build later. And so
it's okay for you to be quiet about.
No. Like I'm even trying to paint a picture for you.
Okay.
Have you imagined the fusion between artificial intelligence and augmented reality?
That's crazy.
Even in that whole makeup space.
Yeah.
Like there's a particular product where but it was going to need a whole lot of neural network and artificial intelligence. So it was human capital intensive, and capital
of the data
intensity.
that you have to put in.
Exactly. So a whole lot of machine learning had to go into it, and all of this kind of stuff. So it was around that time that I just told him, okay, like these are the ideas, and it brought us on board. So we met like once or twice every week, for like 2 months and all of that. So he gave the foundation, right? And interestingly, amongst the 4 of us, I think I'm the only one that's doing AR now.
Wow. The rest have they have
They've
pursued other.
They've got to make
things.
more money because like Desmond is the top guy, doing UI UX for I think a Canadian company.
Back
now.
to UI UX, no?
then Grace is doing this is a product manager for a top investment company.
Nice.
Okay.
Right, and all of that.
Are there like schools that one can go? Like, would you recommend Udemy and
So
all of those?
Udemy,
YouTube.
Audacity, all of these guys have AR courses.
They don't
so
have.
to speak. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because AR, people think AR is still like a joke. I don't know why. So, but I'm thinking of compiling like a material.
Okay.
Just like get started with AR.
AR for dummies.
Yeah, it's never just going to be
beginners.
for dummies,
Yeah.
I think the title of the book. What do you think the title of the book should be?
I already said AR for dummies, but you don't want
dummies,
that.
Dummies feel like almost all software engineering,
Actually, has something for dummies. You could say AR.
Learn to create a new word with AR.
Feels like a whole lot.
That's too much for the cover book.
I think I have the perfect one. Your reality. It's just gonna be simple.
It's too short.
Yeah, and I would just look at it.
We need more. We need it to be more compelling.
You need like carry weight.
So just video, right? So yeah, so I think from there, we can now begin to. Because even there's a time where product management was not like the way it is
True.
right now.
Yeah.
I've been a product manager, but I didn't know I was doing product management.
Exactly,
I think I've been in that.
All of us.
Yeah, before they now
when I realized that I'm an agile product manager, I thought I was just being stressed.
Or even
doing
project
Scrum since.
Or being a project manager, you're just handling everything and just say, "Oh, I'm the manager of this business." Bro, yeah, project.
Yeah. Actually, imagining projects. We need to wrap this up right now. But before we go, we'd like for you to also share with us some of your challenges as an AR developer. What would you say are the most challenging things about that?
A little critical. Okay. So very, very, very first challenge. And if anybody's going to go into AR, I want you to understand, like I said, AR overlays,
Reality.
Realities, it overlays images or digital information upon reality.
Right.
So that overlay has to be graphic enabled. So your very first stint towards AR should be a little knowledge of graphics design.
You should have said this one since. So you can start on Canva for now.
I'm not learning again.
No. So now, because AR ought to be like a team. Like while I was with Euphoria, right, we had a team. So the guy that has gone in to be the UI UX designer for a company, right, the Canadian company, he's the designer on the team.
Okay.
The person that I said, is a product manager. Both of us doubled as like product, but so I was the person that was going to do the building.
Yeah.
So I just needed this guy to give the design, or rather, she gives us the product roadmap. This is how we're going to go. This is what we need. So these are the assets that have to be provided. It has to be with this particular dimension because you want the work to go like just fast. It has to be in PNG. It has to be in SV. It has to be in JPEG. These are the interactivities that we want. And because she has a knowledge of AR, she's saying, okay, these are the, patches that you should use. Call this function and all of that. So
I want to learn this so much, but it's sounding difficult.
No. It's not difficult. It's actually fun. It's not even the graphics part. I'm just
this is still the roadmap.
It makes
Can I delegate that to somebody?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm not doing that thing.
Right, but you know it. So
I know.
You had to learn to get to that point.
Okay. So once she's done, she passes it on to the designer. So it gets the design assets ready.
Okay.
Then it gets to my table.
You now do the overlay.
As the AR developer. So I take all of this. I'm looking at the roadmap. This is what should be done here. I look at it, create the material, then build it. Then once I'm done, I look back at the roadmap. Do they tally? Take it back to the product manager. Okay, we can put it out for test, and if there are any fixes that need to be done, bring it back. Any bug. So now I started out when I left, I was now the one doing both the product management, the design, and the building myself, writing the code.
That's a lot.
Wow.
So it was a whole lot, I won't lie to you, because it kind of slowed down my pace. I was used to getting the design ready. Like I was used to getting it. So I had to go buy, a Canva Pro subscription plan.
See?
Okay.
After learning, what design was going to be, right? Like I said, I had to get like a Canva Pro subscription plan. And I didn't need anyone to teach me because there was YouTube.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube and learned, and it wasn't so hard. Just that Canva is limited.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's some kind of things you want to get done, and so now I had to, so to speak, hire a designer.
Okay.
To make my life easier, so that the product development part and roadmap I can do it on my own.
Right.
The person just helps with design, so I go ahead to code and build the AR experiences. So that was how I went about doing it. So if you want to get started, if you are very good in design, then you should come into this space.
Okay.
Because it's going to be easy for you.
Design is like the basic skill.
Yeah, it should be the basic skill. Design. And if you're not good at design, I'm not good at design. My design is poor, man.
How about like equipment? You just have like a MacBook, an iPhone, or like
applications to use.
Yeah, so
buying some of all these things that you may need to use, software, etc.
AR applications are quite RAM intensive. So the Dell I used to use before, what I'm using now, was a 16 gig RAM Core i7. Because you don't want your system to be glitching and hanging. Right? So you want something that is just smooth. Yeah. Because I remember when my system was not around at some point, I had to use someone's Core i3, and I was like, Kilele, like, what is this? Yeah. So that's when I now knew the value of my, laptop, that, oh, wow. Yeah. So that's one part on the tool. Then, the application, so it's dependent on whatever, if it's social AR or web AR you're trying to build. So there are different platforms. So you could just check out the one that, works with you. Then you can download, the applications. Then you can go on YouTube to go and learn. But, there's one guy that is doing something in Kaduna. I've forgotten his handle now.
Kaduna, wow.
Yeah, so he's trying to teach, young people and how to. So I think they're starting from, Instagram, how to build basic Instagram, AR effects like filters.
Interesting.
And stuff like that. I think if I go back on my Twitter, I think I bookmarked his tweet.
Okay, you can send us a link and then we'll just share.
Yeah.
His name is Ima.
You know what?
Imasuen Design.
Okay.
Imasuen. IMASUEN.
Okay.
Design.
You could just share the link later.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Tigger has one final question.
With a projected market value of over $400 billion, that's the AR space. What would you predict the future of AR is going to be?
I love this one too. All right, so I will start out. I'll start out with what our company is building right now.
Okay.
So we'll see that post the pandemic, something changed in the event space. Before the pandemic, events were on site.
All the time.
But now, post pandemic, events became on site, virtual, and hybrid. Now, I have a particular idiosyncrasy and ideology I work with respect to business, and that's behavioral economics.
Okay.
So behavioral economics in layman term is the economic value of people's behavior within a context. So let's look at it in the context of events. There's a lifeline or two lifelines at events. Number one, the backdrop banners. Every event has a damn for a second backdrop banner.
Yeah.
And it contains information, ample information about what that event is
about.
If it's a wedding, you can see the couple, the date, and all of that, their toast. If it's a birthday, you can see the celebrant, the age they're turning. It's a corporate event, all of that. Now, the second lifeline is that people take pictures and videos.
Yeah, at the event.
In front of the backdrop to signify their presence at the event, whilst creating memories of the event.
Yep.
So, two lifelines within that backdrop banner. Now, let's go back to the basic. Events are not just on-site again. They're now virtual and hybrid. Will I take my backdrop banner and send to my virtual participants? Will you? No.
I think not, actually.
You can't.
But they can still, they can still have it digitally
Exactly.
at home if they don't attend the event physically. And they can still snap and snag a picture.
Take pictures. That's what matters for social
media.
That's
what our company is building.
Okay.
So we digitize backdrop banners for events. That's one of the futures of AR. So you're having an event, and it is going to be on-site, virtual, hybrid. There's a digital backdrop as well as your physical backdrop, right? Another thing about that backdrop is that at the end of every event, the backdrop goes to waste.
True.
Yeah. They're not recyclable or they're not reusable because that event was for that moment.
And then the date is there.
The date is there. So you cannot
maybe the sponsors of this year's edition are not the same sponsors of next year's.
Exactly.
Crazy.
But now, when you have digital versions of backdrops, it's just beautiful because you can take it down. You can all you have to do is do another design, re-upload it, it's back online. Yeah. That kind of thing. So we have 3 value propositions. Number one, a personalized event experience because now backdrops are on your smartphone. Yeah. Second, it is decentralized. It's not limited to a location. At every event, maximum of 2 backdrops, and you have 1,000 people struggling to take a picture in front of.
Then there's a queue.
And the catch here is that you cannot spend more than 5 seconds
in front of the backdrop.
Someone's going to photobomb your picture. So all of your kaftan and bespoke whatever, you have to make I just take this picture. But now it's on your smartphone. Yeah. So you can take your time, give all of the poses. And number 3 is that it is interactive. So we did for the Eat Drink Festival that's powered by Sterling last year. Okay. So one of the conveners, so I just sent him a cold DM on Twitter. I said, this is what we're building, and since you guys are rolling out for Eat Drink, we can build something. It's like, oh, interesting, just show me. So we built something interactive that when you open your mouth, burger comes out of your mouth because it was themed Lagos Burger Week. Lovely. So it was interesting. So it got people to say, I'm going to come for this event. So on their own part, people came in, right? For the people that came in, it was just interesting that you open your mouth. So Lagos Burger Week is dangling on your head, then you just open your mouth.
And the burger is good.
Then we did for Davido in 2020 when they launched the album, A Better Time. Okay. So that is song Femme. When it gets to that point where then you have to put your hand on your lips. So now when you open your mouth, that same hand just comes on your lip. And it was just interesting. So that's the future of AR for events. Now, another future of AR, has to come in education.
Right.
Okay.
I'm someone who is photographic with learning. I cannot sit 1 hour in your boring lecture, I'm sorry. So that's why all of my learning, even after attending classes, I just go back on YouTube and watch, and maybe the things I could glean from whatever you said, I can now connect the dots.
Yeah.
So now with AR, with image tracking, you could see, let's say for instance, something that is further intensive, maybe like biology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to understand, I still find it hard to understand what happens within our skin. There's the epidermis, and there's the dermis, and the ones that will be demised.
Fascinating.
all of those things, right? So imagine there was an AR that makes you understand that there's that thin layer, or the one in the brain, the hypothalamus. Just AR makes it interesting because I went through a particular content of educational AR. And the concept that was taught was never related to what I was doing. But it stuck to my head. So like at the snap of finger, like, oh, this is what you guys are trying to say. Yeah.
There's enough potential with how it can
makes
be
sense.
used.
So AR for education is wonderful. Then another part of AR that is almost non-existent, right? I'm working at something around it. It's going to be for sports.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine a situation wherein you're going to watch your favorite team. So imagine wearing their jersey virtually.
But that will affect merchandise too.
No. It's not affecting
You don't think so?
It is not. Because it's just for the 90 minutes of the match.
Okay.
You're supporting your team. So while you're taking and capturing moments of that particular match, yeah, I'm supporting. What team do you support?
I don't watch football.
Chelsea. Boom.
It's quite obvious.
Why is it obvious that I do not watch football?
That's what I support Chelsea. Why would you say it's obvious?
No, do we talk about it?
I'm not the most quiet person in the room. Is that what you mean?
No.
Chelsea people are noisemakers.
No, it's never.
The shouting has the winning side.
No, so I support Manchester City, and don't ask me why.
It's quite obvious.
Good comeback.
Yeah, I'm wearing almost like a
because
color.
Manchester City, I have known that they like to attack Chelsea fans most of the time.
Oh.
And we do a lot better than them.
Yeah, according to what I've seen.
Yeah. But that's not the conversation for today.
Yeah, let's go back to AR.
So, let's go back to
Sports.
So yeah, so sports, right? So that's like one of the ways that you can champion the future of AR. So all of that.
I think that it's beautiful because you have been able to just show that AR can be used in many different use cases and across industries. Whether it's sports, entertainment, education,
marketing,
literally everywhere. And I think that's really beautiful to
and
see.
One of the catches for education is that it helps with the low attention span of students.
Yeah.
Like you see, you even find students that battle dyslexia, battle ADHD, different kind of syndromes, and with AR, it just becomes. I can't even wait till when AR becomes a part of our educational.
You look and sound very excited about us, and I think it's a great thing to witness.
I love AR. Like AR is like
you live and breathe in AR.
Yeah, obviously.
Exactly. I love AR.
This has been a fantastic conversation. Yes. I have unlearned a lot of things about augmented reality, and we're sure that you also have picked one or two things. I'm tempted to do a small exam because Simi has given us serious lecture today.
Yeah, I can put you through a 5-question exam. Do you want me to take it like I want to be a millionaire or who wants to be a millionaire?
You don't have options. I'm scared.
Yeah,
without or with.
With or without options.
You're the lecturer. You decide.
Oh, I love your confidence.
He's going to choose for the first one.
All right, so
always give options.
The very first question. Can you give me the synonym for augment?
The
synonym for augment in augmented reality. I mentioned it.
Overlay.
Yes!
Disclaimer, I did not agree to partake in all this. So I am not the dummy here. You understand? I chose not to.
Okay, this second question is going
No, you're asking both of us now, so anybody that can answer it. So I'm leading by 1 point. Boom.
Okay.
Is it a competition?
No, it's not a competition. So the second question is this. Can you just give me like 3 different trackers with AR?
First off, I would like to say I thank God you're not my law lecturer when I was in school. Trackers, image tracker.
Yes.
The environment, that's plain.
Okay.
And let's say you made mention of the face. No, okay, that is the image already.
Yeah, no, the face is different from image.
The face is different from the image. So I got its image, face, and environment. That is plain tracker.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's nice.
I knew it, so I just want to answer.
If you see the way Belarus was looking up to the ceiling,
knew it
she
too.
was literally thinking
I was trying to
of
figure out if face and image were the same.
My next question.
Okay.
Can you tell me what it takes to be an AR developer?
Be a designer first.
I'm pray to God.
Nope. You missed it.
Should I ask the question again? What does it take
to be an AR developer?
Sheer determination.
No, it's not that.
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
What does it take to build an AR experience?
What did you say?
You
said
need
something relating to finding the
user
experience.
No,
not user.
I'm going to put a countdown for 20 seconds.
You need to
knowing your market.
Not knowing your market. Sort of like knowing that
build an AR experience.
Wait,
you're done with knowing your market. What you want to build?
So the next thing is to build it.
You've done your user research. You want to
get your roadmap.
Yes, one.
Get your roadmap. Get your assets.
Yes.
The graphics.
Yes.
In PNG and all of those formats, and then you now build by overlaying.
See, I am still smart in my own way.
Leading by 2 points to 1.
Okay, all right. Two more questions. Tega, I hope you're up to scale with these ones.
Please don't put pressure on me.
Okay. No, the pressure's not going to get worse or worse.
Wesa.
Okay, so this question is very simple. An AR developer has one tool in building an AR experience. What is it? One tool.
Is it designing?
Tool.
Process. Tool. Oh, a laptop with a very, very big capacity.
Yeah, storage capacity. I knew that too.
Not just storage capacity, your RAM.
Oh, okay.
RAM.
Is it not still like storage?
RAM.
Storage is more of RAM, read-only memory.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay. So my last question.
Why are you not counting the points for me?
It's 2-2. Boom, boom.
So now this one is going to be
the tiebreaker.
I don't know. I think I have a bias. So the fact that somebody doesn't watch football. So let's look for a common ground. So Tega, what's the common ground between both of us?
Between?
The both of us. I'm trying to help you win this.
Wow. Men supporting women.
I see us working on different projects.
You're talking of the future.
That's your common ground.
Okay, the common
we know
ground
each other.
No, we both wear glasses.
Right, there.
I did not even think about that.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget I'm wearing glasses.
The final question is this. Can you give me two AR use cases?
Social and web.
What have you failed it?
No, I was trying to help her. I was trying to help her complete her
Use cases: education, and sports.
Let me just help you. Marketing. Wait. You. Is she on the light?
Am I on the right path?
Right path. No,
am I?
Wait. We did not even allow him to complete his statement.
Your school fees back from me.
Wait, we did not allow him to complete his statement. Please
I completed the statement.
What was your question?
Use cases of augmented reality.
Not the platforms.
Oh, use cases.
So I already said for sports and education.
Yeah, she got it.
I also helped her say marketing.
Boom, 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 boom. You can use it to wear your club's jersey, and you could also use it to teach, different things like biology and several layers of this game, events as well, or home decor.
You know, sometimes you have to, relax and just calm down for, other
can your
people
fave
to shine.
ever? Can your
You have to
can your
back down for
AR
people to
developer
shine.
ever?
You know,
Can your AR developer ever?
we have to make Bella Rose feel she's she's in tech.
Women in tech. Hashtag.
Thank you very much,
you guys, man.
Thank you
it was
again,
nice
TV.
discussion.
It was great
Augmented
having you on the
reality.
podcast.